Wow.
It's all about humanity. About humanity.
Hello gamers, it's ASAP. Welcome back to the channel. My name is ASAP Game and I'm your host for today's video, and today we are going to be taking a look at the ROG Strix M15 gaming laptop. So let's jump right into it. So here inside the box you will find the end you open it from is from the handle here. You're going to pull that up and then you'll see straight away here's the laptop. It is a 15.6 inch widescreen, 16:9 ratio. Let's go ahead and put this to the side here, not put that on the edge. And then on the other side here on the left, you'll find your charging cord and your power brick. This is a 150 watt charging cord and it'll power your computer pretty good. So yeah, so inside the middle compartment you'll just find some paperwork, some stickers or maybe something like that, and yeah. And then on the right side here there is nothing inside there, and I'm pretty sure that they saved this compartment here for like the other models. So yep, nothing in there for my specific model. And yeah, that's actually taking it out of the box. So let's toss this out. And here it is, the ROG gaming laptop, made by Asus. It is a 4.5 pound laptop. Correct me if I'm wrong, but look at this laptop. It's an absolute beast. It has a 144 hertz refresh rate on a 1920 by 1080 display, and it's packing a Intel Core i7 10th gen processor with a GeForce GTX 1650 Ti. If you're going to be doing some hardcore gaming on this, I highly recommend that you keep it plugged in at all times, because the battery life doesn't even last that long on a single charge. If you're going to go hardcore gaming, your battery's only going to last maybe about an hour and a half. So I highly recommend plugging it in when you're just hardcore gaming for a long period of time. Alright, so now that we have everything all plugged in, let's go ahead and actually turn on the PC. The laptop can be turned on in two separate ways. You can either open it from sleeping, or you can just press that power button right here. The Republic of Gamers logo will pop up here as you will start it up. And as you can already tell, there is some RGB all around the bottom of this thing. And yes, they are very bright, and you can see them as clear as day, even though I'm in a very bright room. I think this can go a little bit brighter. Let me just check here real quick. Oh yeah, it can definitely go brighter than this. That's the brightest setting right there. Just look at this laptop. It is absolutely beautiful. Alright, let's go ahead and sign in and benchmark some games. But before we hopped into it, guys, I just wanted to let you all know that no, I am not sponsored in any way, shape, or form by Republic of Gamers or Asus. This is specifically a personal review on this very laptop. Okay, before we just get into game benchmarking, I kind of wanted to show you guys how well the speakers performed on this laptop, and just to kind of show you how well the speakers performed. So let's go ahead and give it a crack. So see here, the volume's all the way up. sounds amazing. The bass is actually very, very good in this laptop. I'm not sure if you can hear it that well over the microphone of the phone, but the speakers do perform very nicely for a laptop like this. And something else on the speakers, they are stereo surround, so you will get left and right sounds coming from the stereo speakers. So if you wanted a game without a headset, it is doable, but I highly recommend that you did use a headset for that extra clarity and surround. Okay, so for Valorant, I was able to push out 144 frames completely through the gameplay with maximum settings. This computer had completely no issue running this game, and it was very, very different from my last PC that I used, which only ran the game at maybe like 60 or 40 frames. So it's a huge step up for me, and having that 144 hertz is just absolutely insane on this display. Valorant ran flawlessly on maximum settings, so if you want to play Valorant on this PC, go ahead and go for it, because it can handle it. Okay, so for Minecraft, this laptop ran it very, very well. Just make sure that you don't have your render distance over 10 or 12, because then you'll get some very choppy frames. Right now, I'm running at about 116 frames, I think. I capped out at about 130 doing this playthrough right here. As you can see, I'm just cutting down some trees. But yeah, this game was able to handle Minecraft vanilla very well. I totally recommend this PC for playing Minecraft. Okay, now it's time for Call of Duty Warzone. I'm pretty sure most of you guys have been waiting for this part of the video, but let's get into it. So, this laptop ran Warzone very decent. I mean, I tried running it at some pretty high settings, and it would only push out at about 40 frames, which is not that bad for a PC like this as of Warzone, because Warzone's like the biggest, most graphic intensive game out there right now. And so I was able to run it at medium to low settings at 120 frames, and it would average around about the higher 90s or lower 100s, but I'm pretty sure that's plenty of frame rate for this laptop, especially for Warzone. So if you want to play Warzone on this PC or this laptop, it's gonna run it very well. I didn't come up to any stuttering issues at all, and so I try to kind of include the beginning part where you're in the plane, and the ending part where you get into the helicopter here, and no frame drops whatsoever. But actually, when you're inside the plane and as you're coming out of the helicopter, the frame rates were actually the highest in these scenarios. So very, very well done on this laptop. I highly recommend it for playing Warzone. So now that we are all done with all of the game benchmarks and what have you, we're going to go ahead and press this button right here, which is the ROG button, and it brings up this menu here that you can see. It gives me my fan speeds of CPU and GPU, and I can even get some system configurations like the boot up sound, disable and re-enable the touchpad. So if I were to move the touchpad, you can see here it's moving, and if I were to click on this button again, as you can see, I'm moving the touchpad, but nothing is happening. But I keep that on just in case. The ROG key, you can disable that as well, and the Windows key you can disable. You even have a game launcher for any games that you might have had, like, let's say, Fortnite. And so for app configuration, you can go to Aura Sync and Game Visual, and you can even get some sound configurations, like some games, music, movies, stuff like that. And as you can come over here to the left, you can see here there's like some system options, but this is the part that you guys would probably like the most. You go over here into Aura Effects, and as you can see here, there's a lot of these options that I can choose from. So I can go here into breathing, and it'll change the way that the keyboard and RGB reacts to whatever I press. So strobing, this is what that looks like. I can increase and decrease the speed, and just like that. And then color cycle just basically smooths, like it glides into each color of the color wheel, which is really cool. Rainbow, this is basically where it goes through all of the colors of the rainbow, and you can even change the patterns. So like you can go from red, and then it'll beam down dark and dim out, and then you can change the speed on that too. So Starry Night, this is basically epileptic warning, basically, and this is only on the lowest speed. If I turn it all the way up, it's just, you know, absolutely obnoxious. I don't know who would ever use that. And this is probably the coolest option, where you can set it to music, where it can react to any sounds that you play through the laptop, as I'll show you here in a sec.
It's all about humanity.
Well, that was pretty cool. Now we will go over here into smart mode, and this will basically give you, it'll tell you your CPU and your CPU or your GPU temperature. All you have to do is click down here, and you can even go by CPU usage, which is really cool. But I like to keep it at temperature in case if, you know, if it ever gets to like 40 degrees Celsius, it will stay on green. If it goes up to 60 degrees Celsius, it'll turn yellow. And if it goes up to 100 degrees Celsius, it'll turn red, which means that's not good for your CPU. But it's not that bad of a deal. I mean, it allows you to monitor your CPU temperature as you're gaming, even if you don't want to come into here and look at all of this while in the middle of a game, which I think is really awesome. And the adaptive cooler, or the adaptive color, is basically where you take a screenshot of a place on your screen. Let's say that you wanted to pick a color of this right here, and you can basically see that it's trying to copy that part of the screen. But I haven't really set that up yet, so I don't really know how it works, but it's okay. And then dark is just basically, you know, turn off the RGB. But I like to keep it on static for the red, because Republic of Gamers is basically red and blue, so thought I might share this little tidbit with you. And this game visual here will basically change the gamma or maybe even the color temperature of your screen for whatever you're doing. Let's say you wanted a default to where it provides the best viewing experience for browsing photos and websites, maybe a racing option for like fast-paced games, some scenery for fine-tuned brightness and contrast and saturation to make more vibrant hues, or maybe even for some RPG games for viewing game graphics with enhanced sharpness and color performance, or maybe even first-person shooter where it enhances the visibility in dark scenes and makes it easier to spot your enemies. I think this is the coolest one, so. But cinema basically enhances the contrast and color saturation that deliver livelier and more vivid visuals, and eye care, which basically adjusts the gamma value, saturation, and hue to reduce the amount of blue light and prevent potential damage to your eyesight, which I think is really nice. And vivid enhances the color saturation and the brightness of images. Very cool, very cool. And then this is basically the game library. You can open up any game that you choose, like Call of Duty Modern Warfare, or maybe even some Fortnite. And then this is basically the system configuration where you can kind of, you know, tell what these buttons do up here. So I think that's pretty cool. And then this here is where you can buy games from. You would hit agree, and you would basically take you to a game store where you can buy some games for your laptop. And this is basically some news, like some updates on like some GeForce stuff, some ROG products that they're selling to you, stuff like that. And that will conclude the episode today, guys. I hope you all enjoyed my review. If I missed anything, please leave it down in the comments down below and tell me. Or maybe even if you have some questions that you want to ask me, like, is it streamer ready? Or does the RGB, you know, dim out at some points? Is there something wrong with RGB? Do the fans get too loud? Stuff like that, guys. Be sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!
It's all about humanity.